Now, as far as the housing market, I don't know. It's kind of uncertain right now because material prices, as far as building packages, have escalated like 3 times since June of 2020.
All right, we are live. Howdy, Jeff Spencer.
Hello, Chris Work.
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm well.
I'm
Good.
Yeah,
Jerry, I'm so sorry. How are you, man?
Thank you, man.
Gee, that was rude, wasn't it?
It was, sure was. That's all right.
Well, you build these successful software as a service companies, and you just become an asshole. So I don't know if I recommend anyone else doing this, but no, in all seriousness, Jeff, where's the market at? Specifically in construction, where are we today?
Well, in Nashville, the market's good right now for construction. What the future holds, I don't know. But I know there's been a decrease in rental property in Nashville, especially downtown areas, because people are coming in from other states and other communities, to try and thrive in Nashville, but they're more of I don't know how to put this, but, I won't say educated, but more like IT background.
Technical background.
Yeah, technical background.
Well, Nashville it has always been a tech hub.
Right.
Well, always. It has been for a number of years now, specifically in healthcare.
Yeah.
So that isn't surprising.
Right. Well, and see, most of those positions are filled. And, Nashville's been thriving for a few years now. People see that, they want to be there and be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or they come in, they want to be downtown where, they got short commutes and right in the middle of everything as far as what's happening, what's going on.
And it's fun down there.
It is fun down there. It is. Yeah. But it's expensive.
Sure.
To be down there.
Yeah.
Very expensive. And from what I'm hearing and understanding, a lot of people have moved out of their leases and just dropped them and moved out to the suburbs because they can't afford to live that lifestyle because the market for their jobs that they came there for is not there.
Okay.
But, if you're in the construction industry, the jobs are there. I mean, you drive around downtown Nashville now, and I guarantee you can count 20 to 25 tower cranes.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Not counting crawler cranes.
Yeah.
There's cranes everywhere. There's work going on all around Nashville and surrounding counties because that's what they're doing. They're trying to build up these suburbs to house all these people that are moving in.
Okay.
That's a major market right now.
And that raises a question. What if I'm kind of new to the game? I'm a contractor. Do I want to even get involved in like multi-family units in this market? Or does that pose a risk to me long term? Like, let me rephrase that. Would I want to put too many eggs in that basket? Or should I keep a diverse book of work?
I would try to, be diverse,
sure.
As far as commercial versus residential. But for the past few years, residential has been pretty lucrative in Middle Tennessee because there's so many people coming in.
So many people coming here.
Yeah, they got to have places to live.
Absolutely.
Commercial is still rolling in Nashville, and it seems to be, from what I'm hearing, there's stuff that's been under contract for a while that's going to happen. That's not going to start till later on in 2021. I've been told if there was a downturn in the market that, for a brief period of time, Nashville would kind of breeze through it because there's so much stuff already under contract.
Okay.
Now, as far as the housing market, I don't know. It's kind of uncertain right now because material prices, as far as building packages, have escalated like 3 times since June of 2020.
Now, if I understand correctly, you built a home, was this in March?
I started in March.
So did you have some insider information there? That
No, I did not. But, I was just blessed enough to get in.
But that's when you had scheduled to build that house.
Right, yeah. And it just worked out.
Sure.
And as a matter of fact, the people I bought my building package from, I dealt with them, even after I was through with my house. They're like, man, you got in at the right time.
Really?
At that time it had doubled, and now it's more than doubled.
Gosh.
And I was told that after first of the year, they start to see some decrease. But what I'm hearing now is like there's no sign of decrease in building packages till probably mid to late 2021.
Now I'd heard, I guess it may have been the middle part of 2020, that part of prices, I'd heard the same. Just lumber prices, for example, going way up. And even difficulty finding the lumber or the stuff you needed to build. Now I understand that maybe some of that was due to some plants or mills closing. So I guess due to COVID and some of that. So then you've created this supply and demand. And
well, a big portion of it was all the people that were sent home to work from home and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they found all this extra time. They could build their decks. They could do
sure.
do home remodels and stuff,
Sure.
and they were self-performing a lot of this stuff themselves.
Yeah.
And so the demand for the lumber, which your big market lumber companies, Lowe's and Home Depot and all these people, your big markets, they were the number one stops, and so they depleted a lot of your soft lumber.
I got you. That makes sense.
But it's been a crazy year, and we hope for a better 2021. But
absolutely,
we don't know yet what that's going to entail.
Sure.
But as far as market increases, if you are a contractor and you're putting bids together, you have to be prepared for those sort of things. You've got to put a little bit in your bid to allow for increases in materials, because you never know when that increase is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't happen, if you bid a project and it takes 3 months, 4 months to start, you put a little bit of percentage in there, markup, to inquire for material increases.
Yeah.
It may or may not happen. If it doesn't happen, then you've increased your profit margin a little bit.
Yeah. So it makes sense. I mean, if I'm a contractor, I should pay attention to the markets.
Yes.
Outside of the construction industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you don't just wake up one day and go, oh, there's a shortage of lumber, or the price increased 50%.
Right.
I mean, if you're paying attention, you have a pretty good idea or inclination it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the markets are talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And it's in first of the year in our line of work, like in the utility business, that seems to be a regular thing. Like first of the year, you're looking at 15 to 25% increase as soon as the year rolls around. That will most of the time steadily decline to a certain point over the next couple of months. Usually about mid-February to mid-March, it will plane out and get back to a reasonable market.
Okay. And you mentioned utility work specifically.
Well,
is part of that due to weather in parts of the country?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of it is based on steel pricing and on plastics. Because we use PVC pipe, we use ductile iron pipe, and I think a lot of that is because the market is uncertain at that point, and I think they automatically increase those. Like PVC, a couple of years ago, there was a big increase in PVC because of the plant, I think it was in Texas somewhere, that caught on fire.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it drove prices up, it's just astronomical.
Wow.
But
and I guess you don't get relief from the people you bid that job to if an event, something like that.
No, very seldom do you. You can't get your if you get awarded a job early on, like within 30 to 45 days of bidding a job.
You have some leverage then.
I got some leverage.
Sure.
I can say, well, you quoted me these prices, I've been awarded this job, you can hold them at that market value.
Sure.
But sometimes, because most of your material suppliers, they will limit their quote for, here lately I've been getting quotes, like 15 days.
15 days?
15 days, yeah.
Wow.
And majority of the time it's 30 days.
Okay.
But if you can get within a few days of that, getting awarded a project, you can negotiate with them and hold them into their price.
All right. Well, now let me stop you there. So, 15 days. Is there something in the bid process at that point that changes for you in terms of your material costs? Are you adjusting that rate at all to accommodate that, or does it just sort of come out at the end? I mean,
if it's a hard bid, then I've got to stick with my price.
You have to
I
stick
give
with
the
your price.
contractor or the owner. I've got to stick with it.
Okay.
Now if it's a design build or early on design, then say you're at 50 to 70% drawings, then at that point I can get a new quote and rebid the job.
Okay.
Because they're going to come back and say, we've got updated drawings.
We've changed this and this anyway. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so it's a new game. It's almost like a new project you're bidding.
I got you.
But it's, One thing I found over the last few years, it's nothing certain anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You got to be prepared to make changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we all set a goal. I say a goal. You set a certain profit margin you want to hit.
Sure.
And you always want to come in at that profit margin or above.
Right.
And, your material prices, once they're locked in, are locked in. Sometimes you have the opportunity, like if it's something you use on a regular basis, when the market's good, buy it and stockpile it.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep it on hand for future projects. Try if you got storage.
Sure.
Not every contractor or not every company has a yard they can store materials on.
Right.
But if you get a good price on materials, I would recommend, if you get a down market for a brief period of time, if you see a good deal on some materials, stockpile.
Get it.
Yeah. Because it's going to benefit you later on. Because you're going to be able to bid jobs at today's market price, but you got materials bought at yesterday's market price.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of profit you just added to that job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's smart. Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Is this a situation where having a good relationship with a supplier can help you out? Can he kind of help you insulate, kind of pad the situation a little bit?
It can. And there's several suppliers, in my area that I deal with, but I've got 3 main suppliers that I deal with on a regular basis. And I'm not going to name any names, but I mean, that's who I deal with on a regular basis, and that's who I get to quote all my stuff.
Well, Jeff, if you can't tell our listeners who they need to call, then I'm kidding.
But, I get in situations all the time, where sometimes I get in bidding wars, with my material suppliers. And case in point is like material prices have went up since I bid this project. Well, I'll call and ask for new quotes because their time limit's up. Well, then, I may tell one supplier, you're beat, by a certain percentage, or I can't use you until you come off your price. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm never going to tell them, the exact price they're beat by. I just tell them, hey, I need some help. Can you help me out? Mm-hmm. Well, they'll start dropping their prices, and then I finally get to one that's in my range. Mm-hmm. That's who I go with.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those deals. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Sure.
And I do that periodically. But what I do is, like, a lot of times I get quotes, and from this supplier that's helped me out. Mm-hmm. He may be a little above the rest of them, but I go ahead and use him because I know he's making good money. Yep. And I want to reward him for, like, hey, you helped me out.
That's right.
On this particular job.
It won't be the last time you asked for help. But we all need help sometimes.
Right. But I do let him know you're not the cheapest, but I'm giving you this job because you helped me out on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Relationship building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you gotta, you scratch my back and help me out, and I'll scratch yours on down the road.
Absolutely. That works for everything.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also have good customers too that you work with that, a lot of times they'll find ways to help you pick up extra money on a job that you may potentially lose money on.
Yeah.
Give you extra work on this particular job or sub something else to you. Mm-hmm. So it's good. Relationships are really good to have in the build,
yeah.
Especially to new people that are getting started in the market. Mm-hmm. Build relationships. It's very important. Have people you can trust, people that's going to be on your side, and it's not always about the cheapest price. It's about who you can count on is going to be there for you, in the end game.
Right. Well, that's really good stuff. I hope the best for everyone in 2021, and everybody gets back to work, and we can get shit done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, fantastic. Well, Jeff, it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah, you too, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
See you, Jerry.